I had a number of years ago in the early 90s at a party in Oxford, I met an old client of yours that you had acquitted, that he didn't have to spend the rest of his life in jail, Claus von B'low.
Right, yeah.
And he was a very, very interesting character. He was very charming, very interesting character. What do you, obviously you knew him a lot better than I did, what do you think that occurred in the case? What aspect of the case that actually helped cause his acquittal?
Well, first let's talk about what caused his conviction, and then his acquittal. And that's the case that really got me very interested in what I have done for the last 30 or so years. I've used science and technology to win murder cases. I've had 36 murder cases, homicide cases, and I've won more than 30 of them. And you know, today, about 97% of cases are lost, either by a plea or by a conviction. So, you know, winning a lot of cases is not so easy these days. And I do it almost all through science. We've changed. The chapter in my book, I call it From Sherlock Holmes to, you know, CSI. And by knowing more science than the other side, you can win the case. What happened in that case is they had convicted him of injecting his wife with insulin. And they had 3 tests that essentially proved it. 1, high insulin levels in her body. 2nd, insulin on the test tube. And 3rd, they found insulin, they claimed, in his bag. Ironclad. I mean, I would have voted to convict based on that evidence. Well, it turns out the insulin reading in her body was a false positive. It was 1 of 3 readings. The other 2 were non-existent. The insulin on the needle actually proved that the needle had been dipped in insulin in order to frame what the children believed was an innocent, guilty man. Think about that. There was incrustations of insulin on the tip of the needle. Now, if you inject the needle into somebody's body, the incrustation doesn't remain. The body acts as a swab. But if you dip it, the incrustation remains. And we were able to prove through microscopes that the incrustation remained and that therefore it was dipped. And then we discovered original notes of the testimony of the maid where she did not say in her original notes that she had found insulin in the bag of O.J. Simpson. So we got the court to reverse the conviction and went back for a second trial. Within hours, he was acquitted unanimously by the jury. There simply was no insulin in the case. She had died of self-inflicted overdose of barbiturates, which she was known to have taken. She went into a coma for many years, just died a couple of years ago. And Claus von B'low took my advice after the case. O.J. Simpson did not. My advice to both of them was, do not ever be seen again. Get out of people's faces. People do not like you. They don't want to see you. They don't want you to rub it in. And of course, the very night that O.J. was acquitted, he went on Larry King and insisted on asserting his innocence. And that insulted the intelligence of many people in the audience. Whereas Claus von B'low went off to England and was never seen again. Never appeared again in America. And he's lived a good life. In fact, my daughter, who's an actor, when she was a student at Yale, went for a semester abroad studying at the British, whatever, Academy of Acting or something. And she met Klaus. And she and Klaus started going to theaters together. This 19-year-old girl and this almost 90-year-old man. You know, it was just wonderful. They had a friendship. I usually don't become friends with my clients, but my children are on their own.